Hi, this video will demonstrate how to multiply rational expressions. So notice that I have a multiplication sign between the two. So in that case, I want to jump right in here and start factoring all my different numerators and denominators. So here I have 6t minus 6. All right, so I can factor that by pulling out a 6, and I'm left with t minus 1. All right. Over here I have t squared minus 1. Notice I have a perfect square. T times t is t squared, and a perfect square. 1 times 1 is 1, and I'm subtracting them. So this implies what we call Mr. Formula. This is going to turn into t minus 1, t plus 1. All right. Now down here, notice I have a 1 in front of the t squared terms. So now all I have to do is look for paired multiples of 1 that sum to negative 2. So that is going to be t minus 1 and t minus 1. Why? Because negative 1 times negative 1 yields a positive 1, multiples of this. But if we add negative 1 and negative 1, we get a negative 2 that sum to this. Now, the last thing I left is not quite so easy. We have 2t squared plus t minus 1. Now remember, we're looking for paired multiples of a times c. In this case, it's 2 times a negative 1 or negative 2 that sum to b, or in this case 1. My two multiples of negative 2 that sum to 1 are positive 2 times a negative 1. Why? Because 2 times negative 1 yields negative 2, and 2 plus a negative 1 yields a positive 2. But remember, when a is not equal to 1, then I have to use the grouping method. So what I'm going to do in this case is rewrite my original 2t squared, and now in place of the t term, I'm going to replace it with 2t, so plus 2t, and minus t minus 1. Notice I have not changed the problem at all. I just replaced plus t with 2t minus t. Now I can use the grouping method. I'm going to group the first two things together and the second two things together. And then I want to pull out whatever I can. I notice here I can pull a 2 out of both terms. And then I have a t squared and a t, so I can pull a t out. And that leaves me with t plus 1. Now, in the second part, I want to also get t plus 1. I notice here I've got t minus 1, but there's a negative sign out front. So I am going to actually pull out a negative 1 from both of these, okay? And that's going to leave me t plus 1. Okay? So now, for my final factorization, I take whatever's in parentheses, t plus 1, okay, whatever the two have in common, and then whatever's left out front. I've got a 2t and a negative 1. So that is what I can factor this denominator into here. T plus 1 and 2t minus 1. Okay, now I can rewrite this. I have 6 t minus 1, all right, in the numerator, and now I'm going to multiply that by this, okay, but it will go ahead and just rewrite it. T plus 1, 2t minus 1, okay, and then here I've got t minus 1, t plus 1, and then down below I've got t minus 1 and t minus 1. Now, because we are multiplying, we can simply cancel out things from the numerator and denominator. Here I have a t plus 1, here I have a t plus 1. Here I have a t minus 1, here I have a t minus 1. And here I have a t minus 1 and a t minus 1. So my final answer is whatever I'm left with up top, which is just the 6, divided by with whatever I'm left with in the denominator, which is 2t minus 1. Now your gut may be to cancel this 2 and 6, but you can't. Remember, I can only cancel things if I can pull them out front, and because I can't factor a 2 out of my denominator, I cannot cancel it with the 6. So this is the final answer. So once again, this is an example of multiplying rational expressions.